Alrighty. So looking at the self-assessment,
Mhm.
I mean, our most obvious area of growth is we're taking Magnet online. I mean, we're taking
Right.
school online and want it to be a great experience for kids. Is
Mhm.
there any other, I mean, as you think about having, I mean, thinking through the Henry interview that you went through or
Right.
thinking ahead to future principal interviews, are there or gaps that we want to work on filling in where you feel like you want to be able to speak more to some things?
Mhm. Uh, Pretty much when I had that interview with Henry or whatever like that, it was so specialized with the technology or whatever like that. I think that was more so experience with somebody.
But that person that got that job is even, I mean, I guess their job probably became much bigger
Right.
overnight.
But the thing about Henry is it's so autonomous, which is crazy because even all the high schools don't even aren't on the same 4x4. So autonomous is everybody can do their own thing or whatever. But definitely she's doing a lot more trainings with the pro personalized learning thing or whatever like that. For me, I think it's all the ancillary stuff that you have because I think special stuff that probably Michael Magna doesn't have, like run a special education program or whatever like that. How do you make sure that's together and making sure those kids get their needs and doing inclusion and stuff like that. Those individual things that I could probably reach out and talk to probably and Ms. Johnson and get a little bit more backgrounds like how you run it, what are some of the ins and out, what are some of the main things, and even from a principal, it's probably more so an overview of making sure that, hey, I have a special education coordinator, making sure we're following the IEPs, making sure we're doing the paperwork, ensuring that, we stay legal and giving them the supports and making sure, of course, students are in the least restrictive environment. And then, of course, using your RTI process to make sure that you're identifying kids, but also just not using RTI just to send kids to special ed or whatever like that. So that was probably my weakest thing with special ed and getting a little bit more with that.
Yeah,
And then
definitely are isolated, but I will tell you what I have realized in having felt that a little bit myself, thinking about whatever my next step may be in life at some point, is I don't think there's a lot of principals with solid information on that because I think you
right,
lean so heavily on Judd and your special ed coordinator and
right,
Karen,
right,
uh, and you got to be able to say that in an interview without saying it, right? You got to
right,
use the right language and say
mm,
that you've got to have you want to have a strong partnership with your lead teacher for compliance so that
mm,
you are maximizing the LRE for students and all that. But I
mm,
don't think there are many principals who could go in and set up their own special ed department
right,
because of
mm,
the specialty nature of it and all the legal stuff.
right. And then I think one another question was about personalized learning, bringing to the ESOL and ELL or whatever like that. Just being a little more articulate and we're researching that a little bit more with the ESOL, ELL, the practices, and just everything with those type of students.